Hi, I'm Andy Luke, author, novelist, comic book maker, podcaster. My new book, Coastlines After Dark, is out now. Click on a link in the description, but be sure to give me a like and subscribe, particularly if you're a regular viewer and you think I've earned it. Today, we're going to look at Series 1, Episode 11 of Press Gang, the notable penultimate episode, Monday, Tuesday. It's undoubtedly Series 1's heavy hitter, with consequences reverberating throughout the rest of the show's run. I'm quite sure I didn't see it on original transmission because Monday Tuesday is so seismic. Spoilers ahead. The A plot, rich jerk and new gazetteer graphics volunteer David Jefford trying to weasel his way in as a feature writer for the paper. The face-off between David and Lynda becomes more serious as the episode progresses. And the B plot, Colin recruits Spike to help ask out Ethel Stuttgart. This one flourishes another press gang style, dealing with a tragic, heavy storyline with a quite comedic one. This motif will be found in some of the show's best episodes. It opens with business as usual, by this show's standards purposely mundane, flashing between the day of and the day after, 2 days with two contrasting emotional poles. Colin has his crush on Ethel, but on Tuesday there's doom thick in the air. The time-lapse title sequence is efficient in conveying the future dread, but Monday is a bright young future, full of optimism. Kenny liked David's cartoons. David Jefford's family are not just rich, but movers and shakers in Norbridge and Sherrington. And Matt Kerr's paper receives a letter from an insider who is also well connected, revealing how Lynda's team have been cutting a lot of corners.
In particular, the activities of one Colin Matthews, who has several times been in serious trouble for various illicit commercial ventures.
Lynda swears innocence to Matt and Chrissy, but gets Kenny to manage a cover-up as a matter of priority. He uncovers the source of the complaints, the new kid with worse social skills than Lynda. In the face-off, actor Alexander Crockett gives the right tone of a spoiled upper-class KD, confrontational with just a spoonful of genuine hurt in his voice. Jefford is the villain, and Crockett plays him as if he doesn't know this. It's simply David's right to be on the writing team, and he doesn't know or has never known other than him being right. He doesn't like Lynda telling him his place, and can't resist a spiteful parting shot.
Do you know who reads the Gazette? The headmaster.
Alexander Crockett is still best known for the role of David Jefford. His on-screen acting career seems confined to the latter half of the 1980s. Drama-rama, the storyteller, and his first role, the TV miniseries Breaking Up. It was the first huge step with Crockett cast as Jackson, the series examining the effects upon him of his parents' divorce. The other main roles in the BBC production went to Eileen Atkins, Dave King, and Alan Bennett.
Colin, I am not asking around for you. I'll come with you if you're nervous.
Colin's attempts to engineer a date with Ethel Stuttgart through Spike offer a light-hearted aside. Not that we'll know we need it until the conclusion, but as part 2 heavily involves Colin, it seems an important choice. As a viewing performance, the subplot works for me. Its place in the post-mortem Tuesday narrative owes to Spike feeling that going over the events is counterproductive. It's too soon. While waiting for Sullivan's bowel movements to complete, Lynda stands in front of a poster for the careers service, drawing our attention to Miss Jefford. This isn't brought up again, but thematically it links. A lot of careers in Norbridge are dependent on the Jefford family. Lynda is hauled into Winter's office to answer to the allegations against her and exits to find David in wait. He's stepped up his campaign against the junior paper, and her in particular. Jefford and Lynda battle it out again in the playground, and he's won. He's on the writing team. And just when it looks like Lynda has conceded to David's demands, we get this.
The hell I will.
On Tuesday, Colin is the last to learn the news that David has killed himself. His reaction, not out of malice, is to laugh. He can't believe it could have happened. In social relationships, Colin is a fool. He operates in an optimistic mindset, a bubble, where things like this don't happen. The use of the playground scene in later episodes as flashbacks and those on the Jeffords estate have enhanced their iconic stature. These are pivotal moments carrying dread after the event. It strikes me as I sat to write this review that Mamalky Christie and Lucy Benjamin still haven't got main cast credit. The flip side is this does benefit how the scene on the estate works, as David is confronted by the face of the junior paper. A larger number would lose a tightrope. This scene walks between public shaming and threats in intimacy. The scenes on the Jefford estate evoke the countryside, wild, with associations of death. This is added to by the signifying hunting rifle, David's dress, and one of his last words.
Just shooting some rats, passing the time.
To which he subconsciously refers to himself. And as the gang walk back, oblivious to his fate, they are babes lost in the woods. The blast we hear can't have been the fatal blow, as there's no mention of the police talking to Spike, Colin, and the others. It still delivers as dramatic purpose. Tuesday, Lynda is falling apart at the seams. Colin is silent in shock. Spike is the moral compass. He's pulled in Matt Kerr, who Lynda will listen to. As seen, particularly in page 1 and both sides of the paper, the benefactor doesn't sugarcoat his opinion about the reality of situations. It's a facet of his character that earns him respect and trust for his pragmatism. The line often quoted from this scene is, "Be careful what you say to someone, as it might be the last thing they hear." The script for the whole scene, however, is potent. The question, "How are you feeling?" takes on new gravity. Unfortunately, none of this is enough for Lynda, who quits, and in a sense, she hands David his victory. Bob Spear's final shot of Lynda crossing through darkness and finding Spike at the other end is a preview for how this storyline will go. When someone decides to end their life, there are all sorts of factors, not just one thing, Kerr remarks. A decision such as that comes from an individually felt breakdown in the relationship between the victim and society. When a sufferer speaks to someone who cares about the reality of the threat to themselves, they are generally treated with support and compassion. Then there are all the other days with the black dog of depression. It would be unreasonable to ask someone to speak up every time they have fatal thoughts. For some sufferers, that's a daily thing. Sometimes the decision slips through the net, the horrible act committed on a whim, as David seems to do here. Monday, Tuesday is unusual for a Press Gang issue episode. I say this because only Spike and Matt Kerr offer any resolution, any attempt to disassemble what has happened. Lynda tries, but fails. It's just bad shit that happens. Monday, Tuesday attracted a number of complaints for daring to discuss this issue with viewers. David's decision comes out of left field. Lynda can't process it. If you're affected by fatal thoughts, I'll quote you the advice given by Colin in Something Terrible. Tell someone. And if they can't help you, tell someone else. And keep telling people until you get the help you need. This is a powerful cliffhanger to Series 1's penultimate episode. Moffat's skilled use of script lands some deep punches. So it's fitting that we turn our feature focus to Julia Sawalha, the star of this episode. I asked Julie to make up a graphic for this section, but it turns out that she hates Lynda. She threatened to hit me with an ashtray, so that's not happening. No problem, because I adore Lynda. Oh, we'll get to that. Special feature, Julia Sawalha. Sawalha's debut was aged 13 in 1981 in sitcom Keep It in the Family, episode 5, A Game of No Chance. Months afterwards, the first 2 episodes of BBC miniseries, Fame is a Spur, about the fortunes of socialist politicians. There were other sporadic appearances in the 1980s as she continued her study at the Italia Conti Academy of Theatre Arts. Gabrielle Anwar and Lucy Benjamin auditioned for the role of Lynda, but Sawalha's first sustained role delivered a complex character and an inspirational one. She was the face of the series, which attracted critical acclaim upon airing. In 1993, her performance as Lynda was recognised by the Royal Television Society, when she picked up their award for Best Female Actor for Press Gang. The series opened a number of doors, not all of them the right ones. The 1991 musical comedy drama film, Buddy's Song, was a vehicle for the then pop star hit Chesney Hawkes. Sawalha played Buddy's girlfriend, Kelly, a low-key press gang magnate. The film also included Lee Ross as one of Buddy's bandmates, and Sharon Deuce, who played Spike's mother, playing Buddy's mother. The same year as Press Gang Series 3 was airing, she appeared alongside Lynda Bellingham acting Shrill and cuddly James Bolam in ITV's Second Thoughts, a sitcom about divorcees, which does put me off divorce, admittedly. Quite a step down from the meaty, multi-layered role of Lynda, and a bit of a waste of her talents. Sawalha played the daughter, delivering her unfunny lines as best she could in this badly paced sitcom. Oh, she's also reprising the role in the better-known sequel, Faith in the Future, making 69 episodes as character name here. Look, there's a lot of career to get through. Let's just move on, shall we? For example, Sawalha is well known in that other well-known show about children, Absolutely Fabulous. She is Saffron, responsible mother to Jennifer Saunders' spoiled brat, the straight man in the inventive and sincerely fun series. She has Lynda's acerbic aspects and work ethic, but next to Eddie and Patsy, very much the voice of reason. Absolutely Fabulous is much more ludicrous than Press Gang, but at times both share a darker humour. Ab Fab also features manipulation of the end credits with voiceovers. In Series 4, Episode 3, Paul Reynolds plays Squeak, assistant to Claudia Bing, a bizarro version of Edwina, and her assistant Bubble. The episode features Naomi Campbell too. Unfortunately, Sawalha and Reynolds don't share a scene, as Safi is at home flustered over a teacher she's impressed with. Safi showed up in all 39 episodes, comic relief specials, and the 2016 feature film of this British institution. Ab Fab ran with many years breaks between productions. The first block ran 1992 to 1995, when Sawalha was also working on Press Gang, Second Thoughts, Martin Chuzzlewit, and Pride and Prejudice. The adapted Charles Dickens story was shown on BBC Two in 1994 and has all the trimmings. Sawalha played young Mary Pecksniff, and her Second Thoughts co-star Lynda Bellingham also appeared. She was Lydia Bennett in the Babes' Pride and Prejudice, featuring Jennifer Ellie and Colin Firth. The miniseries is widely considered one of the best on-screen versions of the novel. Don't expect me to watch it. I spent 2 years studying in that dead tome. This so-called satire on high society might have been relevant or funny on release 200 years ago, but today represents and reinforces high society, legitimizing its bigotries. Although my main objection is that it's as entertaining as dental surgery without anesthetic in a war zone. I'm sorry, Miss Heath, you tried your best, you really did. I was much more excited by 1997 Channel 4 miniseries McLibel. For those unaware, the McLibel case centred around claims in a pamphlet by 2 members of London Greenpeace and McDonald's persecution of them through the court for 10 years, the longest legal case in British history.
The leaflet claims that McDonald's have tortured animals reared for slaughter, destroyed rainforests to raise beef, caused food poisoning, exploited their staff, exploited children by advertising, and worst of all, sold food linked with heart disease and cancer.
The validity of the accusations was legally challenged for a decade, despite nowadays being accepted as simple fact. Sawalha plays one of the accused, Helen Steele.
That is, if you were to cut us, we would probably...
Bleed ketchup.
Sawalha is barely recognizable as Steele. She looks different, sounds different, is bringing out a whole new bag of tricks here. At the time of broadcast, Channel 4's productions had a social conscience to them, and Sawalha's work feels like a performance that's emerged from the grassroots. The 2 90-minute episodes are an incredible insight into corporate violence and propaganda. A few years later, she was reunited with Stephen Moffat in Doctor Who, The Curse of Fatal Death, a special for charity comic relief. You probably knew that. It was Moffat's first work on Doctor Who and came in the wilderness years when the show had been off the air. It's a fun little caper, richer for not taking itself seriously. A few years after that, Network would release Press Gang on DVD. No special features were planned. At short notice, Moffat got hold of Sawalha to help record commentaries on 4 episodes from season 2. In 2000, Sawalha's talents appeared in a critically acclaimed award-winning feature, Story of Prisoners of War, she played resistance leader Ginger. Chicken Run was a massive success for DreamWorks and Aardman Animations. So respected was it, there was no sequel for 23 years. However, Sawalha's role was recast by Aardman on the grounds she sounded too old. Understandably, Sawalha felt this was an example of ageist hiring practices. And Aardman's case wasn't helped when Sawalha released video clips online where she'd re-recorded her lines and dubbed them onto the original film. Aardman's decision to recast was met with widespread criticism and condemnation. I was excited to see Time Gentlemen Please, the showcase for pub landlord Al Murray, co-written by fun maker Richard Herring. A so-called parody of xenophobic, misogynistic blokey gammons. I was fairly disappointed with the flat script and pantomime antics. Sawalha plays a lewd Australian barmaid with accent in the first season of 22 episodes and is by and far the brightest energy in it.
This is the governor.
Hey, Gov, I've heard a lot about you. But don't worry, I won't inform the authorities.
Hey? Who is this punch?
Like your sense of humour there, Gov. Here's my card.
Keith Harney, full-time stud muffin?
What? How did that get in there?
I think I'm gonna chunder.
Hello?
Don't waste your breath, Slimeball.
Jonathan Creek is a magician turned detective turned TV consultant, played with earthy charisma by Alan Davies. Sawalha joined the show for 2001 Christmas special, Satan's Chimney. She plays Carla Borrego, a snooty agent brought down to earth when she becomes Jonathan's assistant. The special also has top-tier actor Stephen Burkoff give gravitas, and Bill Bailey popping up unexpectedly to be uproariously funny, as he does. Sawalha appeared as Creek's assistant in 6 more episodes across 2003's 4th series. Jonathan Creek is a mainstream show where nerds are welcome. It's made with modern production qualities while retaining the feel of a show from a bygone era with its sense of substance, eccentric characters and plots. Outside the show, Davies and Sawalha were dating. In 2004, the Mail on Sunday reported they were married at the weekend, possibly because Sawalha had issued Davies with an ultimatum. Versions of the story appeared in the Sunday Express, the News of the World, the Sunday Mirror, and the Sunday People, as well as the Standard. Except they hadn't married. The actors quickly refuted the reports and took legal action. A smoking gun would emerge later in the decade. The newspapers, managed by B. Smith lookalike Rebecca Brooks and sniffy Meghan Markle stalker Piers Morgan, had hacked the phones of Julia and her sister Nadia. It seems probable marriage was talked about privately then. You know how tone can be lost in text messages, particularly if you've no right in reading them. A turn of phrase that was misinterpreted by the press, spying on people. In 2021, the Sawalha sisters received a settlement from Rupert Murdoch's terrorist organisation, News Group. In my commentary on How to Make a Killing Part 1, I covered the hacking scandal in a little depth and the ruination it caused Sadie Frost. It'll probably come up again. A 2021 article by the Mirror Online centres on rifts between Julia and Nadia, some over Alan Davies, which is rich for a publication at causing those rifts and making sure that a wedding never happened. In the 2000s, Sawalha appeared in the much-loved BBC period piece about a sheltered girl leaving her small village of Lord Rise for larger village, Candleford. Laura Timmins, played by Olivia Hallinan, would stay with her successful aunt, Dorcas Lane, the post office mistress. So Sawalha is a co-lead fronting a large ensemble. I'm not a fan of period dramas, but quite enjoyed the first 2 episodes, anticipating with glee when Laura would have her soul crushed by Lynda Day. But actually Dorcas is quite a lovely, inspiring figure, and Sawalha brings an enthusiastic charm to the role. One of the first voices we hear at Candleford too is the village huckster, proclaiming bargain loans from the square.
Turn on the tap and fetch a glass for your
Hang on, I recognise that voice.
And you'll have plenty of time to pay for it. Just put your instalment by each week for me to come and collect. Now,
Well, some people don't change. None other than cut me on throat Paul Reynolds. who plays a debt collector from Oxford. Sawalha works her postures, expressions, voice, and acting muscles generally. Dorcas is well respected, performing the role of merciful matriarch in the village. Episode 1 involves a post office dispute, and episode 2 is about the village's legal workings. It's a type of BBC show rich for parody, but by the same measure, it's an enjoyable quality production. I went in prepared to be bored by it and finished episode 2 wanting to binge it. The last round of absolutely fabulous episodes was 2011 to 2012, and the film came out in 2016. Julia Sawalha has, the last 10 years, eased up on the acting, which is fair, as she spent decades as a workhorse. She's still visible appearing as herself across Peak Times TV. Lately, she and sister Nadia have been campaigning for Palestine on Instagram with live streams, working around the platform's suppression of content in support of the cause. I'll report in the comments whether that mention has had me suppressed on YouTube, as has happened with a few videos. And herein ends my deep dive of episode 11, Monday, Tuesday. A week from now, you're up already. The series finale, Shouldn't I Be Taller? I'd like to thank my patrons, whose names are now appearing on screen, particularly Artemy and Arsalan. I am a self-employed sole trader, so my income is dependent on these videos, on my Patreon subscriptions, where you get 9 videos a month and some prose excerpts. Patreon.com/Andy all for £1 a month. And also on my book sales. And I have a new book has come out. This is the proof copy. It's called Coastlines After Dark. I'm going to read you a bit from the back cover. Mikey O'Hanlon, a Coast Guard and ex-Navy SEAL, partners up with Blake McLean, a sassy lady scientist, to form the After Dark Detective Agency. Based in the beach town of Coastlines, California, they don't count on uncovering a series of supernatural mysteries. It's inspired by Baywatch Nights. It's very much in the tone of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. I had so much fun making it. The cover will be by Sean Duffield. It's got a foreword by Allison Pregler of Movie Nights. I'm really proud of it. I think you're going to have a fantastic time. There's a link to my Amazon author page in the description. So please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Tell people about this. Give me a retweet out. And yeah, if you can't say something in the comments, even if it's just hi, I'm here, please do. I really am very needy. Okay, I'll let you go on about your day. Thanks for spending the time with me.